Good evening and welcome to the Carnegie Town Hall. This meeting of the Sioux Falls City Council will begin in a few moments. The City Council meets on the first, second, and third Tuesday of each month at 7 p.m. and serves as the city's policy-making and legislative body. Each meeting is governed by Robert's Rules of Order unless those guidelines conflict with city ordinance or charter. City Council meetings offer an opportunity for citizens to speak directly to their elected representatives. Those in attendance are invited to address the Council during the public input segment at the beginning of the agenda. At that time, any issue that is not subject to formal action later in the agenda can be addressed. Testimony that concerns a resolution or an ordinance's second reading is only allowed when those specific agenda items are being addressed by the Council. When addressing the Council, citizens should speak directly into the microphones at the podium and state their names for the record after being recognized by the Chair. To accommodate and respect all viewpoints, citizen comments are limited by ordinance to no more than 5 minutes each. Comments should be respectful and focused on providing new information that will benefit the Council's deliberative process. The Chair reserves the right to limit the number of speakers. City Council meetings are broadcast live on CityLink and online at www.siouxfalls.org. Information regarding the City Council, its committees, meetings, briefings, and members is available by visiting www.siouxfalls.org/council or by calling the Council office at 605-367-8085. Thank you for your interest in Sioux Falls City government.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to tonight's City Council meeting. Today is February 1st, and we're certainly glad to have you here tonight. We'll start by introducing you to your City Council.
Council members Jamison.
Here.
Karski.
Here.
Kiley.
Here.
Rolfing.
Here.
Staggers. Anderson Jr. Erickson. Here. Erpenbach.
Here.
Thank you, Council. Appreciate that. We are very, very blessed to have Reverend David Edge from Zion Lutheran Church here tonight, and he will lead us in our invocation. What we'd ask you to do is to stand for that invocation and then remain standing for our Pledge of Allegiance. Reverend David, welcome back, sir.
We pray. Eternal Lord, ruler of all, graciously regard those who have been set in positions of authority among us, that, guided by your Spirit, they may be high in purpose, wise in counsel, firm in good resolution, and unwavering in duty, that under them, for these men and women who are gathered here to lead Sioux Falls, do it in a way that is governed quietly and peacefully. And we pray this through Jesus Christ, our Lord. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Council will now move on to our consent agenda. Any motions, changes to the consent agenda?
Move to approve, Erpenbach.
Second, Rolfing.
Councilor Buck's made a motion to approve our consent agenda, seconded by Councilor Rolfing. Yes, Councilor Staggers, sir?
Yes. I guess I'm going to have to vote against the consent agenda. The reason is because of the $90,000 for the historic facade easement at 1116 South 4th Avenue, which is the old Longfellow School. This is not the first time I've voted against historic facade easements. I think there's a better way of doing that, but just wanted to mention that.
Councilor Staggers, thank you very much. A roll call vote, please.
Council members Jamison.
Yes.
Karski.
Yes.
Kiley.
Yes.
Rolfing.
Yes.
Staggers.
No.
Anderson.
Yes.
Erickson.
Yes.
Erpenbach.
Yes.
Council, thank you. That is passed 7-1. Now our regular agenda tonight. Any changes to that or any motions?
Move to approve, Erickson.
Second, Anderson.
Councilor Erickson's made a motion to approve our regular agenda tonight, seconded by Councilor Anderson Jr. If there's no discussion, a roll call vote, please.
Council members Jameson,
Yes.
Karski,
Yes.
Kylie,
Yes.
Rolfing,
Yes.
Staggers,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Erickson,
Yes.
Erpenbach.
Yes.
Council has passed 8-0. Thank you. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to tonight's City Council meeting. Certainly pleased to have you all here tonight. This is a great opportunity for you to engage the council, really on any topic that you're interested in. If it is an item that's later on in the agenda, we would ask you to hold your comments until that point. But if there's anything else you want to talk to the council about, please just come forward. 2 requirements. Number 1, we'd ask you to just introduce yourself to the people of our town. And secondly, the council would like you to keep your comments to 5 minutes or less. Welcome. Welcome, John.
Hello, my name is John Paulson, 1523 South 2nd, and I wanted to thank the council staff, and administration for the way you conduct the city council meetings. I believe it exemplifies the great tradition in Sioux Falls of respect and hospitality in the process and for everyone who takes part in it. I've had an opportunity to witness a number of city council meetings, and I'm even more proud to be a citizen of Sioux Falls for having done so. Thank you very much.
Thank you, John. Appreciate it. Folks, anybody else, any topic? Welcome, sir.
Yes, Dennis Thomas, 101 North Blauvelt. First of all, I'd like to say I'm thankful for the ease at which I could come and speak to you. I called your office last week, and secretary said, come on in, and I didn't have to fill out any forms or have a background check or give any blood. I'm thankful for that. And I'd like to say to all of you, may you have great wisdom in your decisions, and may you have grace with the people who disagree with you.
Thank you.
But I'd particularly like to acknowledge Mr. Staggers. I understand you were not feeling well a couple months ago. I was wondering how you were. I'm happy to see you.
Oh, thank you very much.
My purpose for coming tonight is the Drake Springs Park on west of Cliff Avenue between 10th Street and 12th Street. Children from Terry Redland come down to the swimming pool, and they come along Cliff Avenue, and they're only feet from the cars going by, and many times I've had to hold my breath when I've seen those cars go by. I remember one time I was in the inside lane, a car raced by me on my right, children right on the sidewalk. And also bicyclers come down there to swim, and it's a dangerous thing, so that's what I'd like to address. I called the street commissioner, I called the Parks Department, and I understand their busyness, but I didn't get a response that of any movement. So I feel the simplest solution to this problem would be to put under the 30-mile-an-hour sign, put 15 when children are present. And then also, if there could be possibly from time to time a police officer stationed down on 12th Street to slow the traffic down, and so that these children were only feet from cars going maybe 40 miles an hour when they're not supposed to. But that would be a couple of solutions. I think the moving the sidewalk would be kind of out of the question. Another thought would be to build a walking trail diagonal from 10th and Cliff, diagonal toward the swimming area. And I mentioned this to my wife, and she said to please say also that if they want to, they can build a exercise trail where you have the different stations. That's from her, okay? Different stations of exercise along the way. So I would like a response so this just doesn't wilt away, and then we're the end of spring and the kids are going down the street again and facing what I feel is not a safe situation. So that's my
Ms. Thomas, thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Could I have a
If you could
commitment?
just give your information to Right there, Don's right behind you. He's
Okay.
with the parks. Just give your contact information and we'll get back to you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank you
Thomas.
so
You bet. Make it a great night. Folks, anybody else want to engage the council on any topic? Welcome.
Rick Altoff at 2600 East 33rd Street. I'm not sure if it's on the agenda here. I can't find it, but I'm here primarily to express concern about what I understand is that there's going to be a 12-hour limitation or necessary for notifying the public as far as a public meeting is concerned and the agenda as such.
It's on the agenda.
Mr. Altoff, that's agenda item number 29. If you could just hold your comments to that time.
Okay,
And
and
then
that's
we'll
fine.
bring it, we'll let everybody know they can come up and speak at that time.
Okay.
Thank you,
It
sir.
wasn't clearly identified, so I have no idea, so thank you.
Number 29, thank you. Folks, anybody else? Well, thank you. We appreciate you being here tonight. Item number
18.
18, please.
New 2016 package liquor license for Icon Entertainment, LLC, Icon Lounge, 402 North Main Avenue. Item 19, new 2016 retail wine license for Oh My Word, LLC, Oh My Word Luxury Papery, 328 South Phillips Avenue, pending final inspection per building services. Item 20, new 2016 retail liquor license including Sunday sales certificate and video lottery terminals for Badlands Gaming Subsidiary LLC, Badlands Gaming Subsidiary LLC, 1600 West Russell Street, CUP not required. Item 21, rescind 2016 retail wine license for Badlands Gaming LLC, Badlands Gaming LLC to be operated at 1600 West Russell Street. Item 22, rescind 2015-16 retail malt beverage license for Badlands Gaming LLC, Badlands Gaming LLC to be operated at 1600 West Russell Street. Item 23, special one-day liquor license for Realtors for Kids to be operated at Avera Prairie Center, 1000 East 23rd Street for a fundraiser on February 5th, 2016. Item 24, special one-day malt beverage and special one-day wine licenses for Lutheran Social Services of South Dakota to be operated at TSP 1112 Northwest Avenue for a special event on February 9th, 2016. Item 25, special one-day liquor license for Ramcota Companies, Inc., Best Western Ramcota Hotel to be operated at Vera Prairie Center, 1000 East 23rd Street for a chamber mixer on March 15th, 2016. Item 26, special one-day malt beverage and special one-day wine licenses for Lifescape to be operated at Lifescape, 4100 Southwestern Avenue for a chamber mixer on September 13th, 2016.
Good evening, Jamie.
Good evening, Jamie Palmer with licensing. Item 18 is a request for off-sale liquor. Primarily, they are wanting it for special events and so that they can have silent auctions and have baskets of wine perhaps for gifts, but it will allow them to sell alcohol off-sale at all times or whenever they want. Item 19 is a request for a retail wine license. They plan on having classes and consultations that they would like to offer wine to their patrons. Item 20 through 22 are all tied together in that it's for Badlands Gaming. It's a new retail liquor license, and therefore the wine license and malt beverage license that they currently have will no longer be necessary. So it's kind of an all or nothing. If you vote to approve the liquor license, approve all three. If you vote to deny, please deny all three, because they do not want to lose those licenses if you decide not to approve the liquor license. Items 23 through 26 are all special one-day events.
Jamie, thank you. Council comments on any of these items?
Move for approval, Anderson.
Second, Rolfing.
Councilor Anderson Jr. has made a motion to approve these items, seconded by Councilor Rolfing. If there is no discussion, a roll call vote, please.
Council members Jameson,
Yes.
Karski,
Yes.
Kiley,
Yes.
Rolfing,
Yes.
Staggers,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Erickson,
Yes.
Erpenbach.
Yes.
Thank you, Council. It's passed 8-0. Item 27.
Second reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, amending the Code of Ordinances of the city by amending Section 38.003 pertaining to election precincts.
Good evening. Tom Greco, City Clerk. For item number 27, as I briefed prior, this basically aligns us with with some of the changes that Lincoln County has made. So this affects a total of 2 existing precincts, adds 2 more in the Lincoln County portion of the Southwest District. As you can see up there, precincts 111 and 112 were the existing ones. They'll be amended because of the addition of precincts 115 and 118. And that's all I have on that.
Tom, thank you very much. Folks, anybody want to speak to this item? Council?
Move for approval, Anderson. Second, Karski.
Councilor Anderson Jr. has made a motion to approve item 27, seconded by Councilor Karski. If no discussion, a roll call vote, please.
Council members Jameson,
Yes.
Karski,
Yes.
Kiley,
Yes.
Rolfing,
Yes.
Staggers,
Yes.
Anderson, Erickson,
Yes.
Erpenbach.
Yes.
That has passed 8-0. Thank you. Item 28.
Second reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, setting the regular city election date for Tuesday, April 12, 2016, and authorizing a joint election with the Sioux Falls School District, number 49-5.
Tom?
And again, this by ordinance number 28 will set the election date for April 12, 2016, and also have it be a joint election with the Sioux Falls School District, which they've already approved.
Thank you, Tom. Folks, anybody want to engage the council on this topic? Councilors?
Move to approve, Erickson.
Second, Kylie.
Councilor Erickson has made a motion to approve this item, seconded by Councilor Kiley. If no discussion, a roll call vote, please.
Council members Jameson,
Yes.
Karski,
Yes.
Kiley,
Yes.
Rolfing,
Yes.
Staggers,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Erickson,
Yes.
Erpenbach.
Yes.
That has passed 8-0. Thank you. Item 29.
Second reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, amending the Code of Ordinances of the city by amending Chapter 30, City Council.
Hi, Lori.
Hi, Lori Hugstead, City Clerk. The proposed ordinance before you tonight is to remove our internal deadlines and allow the City Clerk's office the flexibility to conduct the business of the city. An example would be subsection B talks about the deadline for contracts and agreements being 12 noon on Thursdays. The bid openings are held on Thursday afternoons, and if we have a meeting, for instance, it's the last meeting of the month, it could be 2 weeks, it could be 3 weeks before our next meeting, and I am asked on occasion to please extend that deadline so that those particular bid items can be placed on the upcoming City Council agenda. That is one example. The intent of this ordinance proposal was not to change the release date on Fridays. We still plan to keep that in place to release the agendas on Fridays, which exceeds the requirements per state law, which is a 24-hour notification. I'd be happy to take any questions you may have.
Lori, thank you very much. Folks, anybody in the audience want to speak to this item? If you start, welcome. Yes.
Yeah. Once again, Rick Altoff, 2600 East 33rd. From my understanding, I've not read the entire ordinance and so on, but this is a very dangerous area to deal in as far as eliminating any possible processes of the citizens to be involved. From what I just heard here from a testimony from Lori there, it appears that it's an issue of contract bidding deadlines, and I guess that would be easily solved by simply setting a new contract bidding deadline, which would allow that to be published according to the agenda to get into the city council and so on, and have it timely dealt with. But anytime you're eliminating the time opportunity for citizens to be involved, that is not good government, and I would be very surprised if you would pass this if that's the intent of it and the direction of it. So I go on record of strongly, not recommending your passage of this in a conflict with it. So.
Mr. Altoff, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Folks, anybody else want to engage the council? Welcome.
Pam Nelson, I came to talk about the same item that he did.
Yes.
And I think we are fortunate to live in a democracy, and democracy We have government by the people and for the people, and in order for that to happen, you have to have reasonable notice, and the public has a right to know what's going on. I think the more transparent government is, the better off we are. When I was in the legislature, we had reasonable expectations about when things had to be posted, and I think it's only fair that the citizens can expect that now. So hopefully you would not go along with those changes. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pam. Appreciate that. Welcome.
Mr. Mayor.
Hi.
And councilors, I am joined by several interested citizens today to support Michelle Erpenbach's amendment for retaining the Friday posting of the agenda.
Pam, can I ask, could you just give your name, please?
Rebecca
for the
Dunn,
people?
excuse me.
Thank you. Rebecca?
During my 8 years as a state senator, I know the importance of early agenda notice, not only for the constituents and people that were coming to present in committee, but also for myself to prepare for the bills. I think that the constituents also need to have time to get a babysitter, to get off work, and besides their own preparation for their presentation. I think also just the people want to have some time to think about things and look over the legislation, talk to people about it, and arrange your schedule accordingly. I think the open meetings and fair access to them is a 40-year commitment in South Dakota for public involvement. An informed electorate is an easier public to govern democratically. I think we're all interested in quality government. I certainly am. And I don't think quality government comes fast. It comes when good minds, great minds, exchange ideas and have the time to really talk things over and collectively come to the best research decision. So I'm asking you that we all stand before you to support the amendments that Michelle Erpenbach has proposed.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Folks, anybody else want to engage the council? Thank you very much. Appreciate the participation. Council, any comments? Councilor Erpenbach or anybody?
I would move to approve to start the conversation.
Thank you.
Second, Karski.
Been a motion to approve this item has been seconded by Councilor Karski and Councilor Erpenbach.
Then I do have two motions on the table, Mr.
Thank you, Councilor.
Mayor. I would ask the clerk to read the first motion. We'll take them separately. Thank you.
Thank you.
Amendment 1, motion to amend by replacing subsection C with the following. Quote, the proposed agenda shall be posted at the city clerk's office and placed on the city's website. An email notice shall also be sent to all persons who have requested notice pursuant to law by the close of business on the Friday preceding any meeting to take place on the following Tuesday. Proposed additions to the agenda in their complete and final format, including a signed agenda approval form, shall be delivered to the city clerk's office no later than Monday at 12 p.m. before the Tuesday meeting the next day. These items shall be listed as items added after agenda deadline on a revised agenda, which shall be posted, placed on the website, and noticed at least 24 hours in advance of the Tuesday meeting to the council, the mayor, the directors, and all persons who have requested notice pursuant to law.
Is there a second?
Second.
Councilor Erickson, thank you. Councilor Buck's been a motion to amend, and it has been seconded by Councilor Erickson. Councilor Buck, any comments?
Just to add to my comments previously from the last meeting and from our 4 o'clock meeting, that this really is one of those things that the Friday means a lot to me. It obviously means a lot to the citizens as well. I just appreciate your vote in favor of this amendment.
Thank you. Councilor Erickson?
Thank you. I'll
You're
echo
welcome.
what Councilor Erpenbach stated. I do understand the intent behind bringing this forward to have government run smoothly. I don't think it was done in any ill way, in any way, shape, or form. People have spoken and had concerns, and so we have this amendment. Michelle has this amendment coming forward, and I hope that our colleagues here will support this today. It is required in state law 24 hours, but it is different in the legislature versus the city. It just is different. When you're there, you're seeing the bills being passed around, you're living and breathing it, you're there in Pierre and it's just different here. So I would hope that we can keep that Friday for planning purposes for not just council, but also for citizens.
Thank you, councilors. Yes, Councilor Jameson.
Yeah, I don't know what else I could add, except as a counselor who's been around for a few years, these weekends have served as a great timeline for me to prepare for what were the Monday meetings and now the Tuesday meetings. This amendment really makes sense. Certainly there was a lot of exception given to him by the public who made their positions clear to us, and we hear that. But it also works with the counselors as well, just so you kind of get a sense of what it takes for a counselor to do their job. We really need the weekends. And so I agree with this amendment, and I support it as well.
Councilors, thank you. A roll call vote, please. On the amendment.
Council members Jameson?
Yes.
Karski?
Yes.
Kiley?
Yes.
Rolfing? Yes. Staggers?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Erickson?
Yes.
Erpenbach?
Yes.
Thanks, Council. We now have an amended main motion. Any other discussion? Councilor Erpenbach.
I do have a second amendment, Mr. Mayor. If I could ask the clerk to read it, please.
Amendment 2. Motion to amend by adding the following sentence to the end of subsection C. Quote, a technological problem or failure that either prevents the posting of public notices on a website or that temporarily or permanently prevents the use of all or part of the website does not preclude the holding of the meeting for which the notice was posted, if the public body complies with all other public notice requirements.
Second, Erickson.
Councilor Erpenbach's made a motion to amend the amended main motion, and that was seconded by Councilor Erickson. Councilor Erpenbach.
This is one, it kind of comes part and parcel with stuff happens. As somebody that works with websites all day long, every day, they are not completely fail-safe. And so this is just one of those pieces just to give staff an out if there is something that crashes on the website. Otherwise, everything else has to be complied with. It would have to be posted on the door, which is by state law. It has to be sent by email to those folks that want it to come by email. It has to be posted and notified as long as we do those things in case that big website crashes. This is a 1 in a million years kind of thing, but just in case.
Councilor, thank you. Councilor Erickson, any comments? A roll call vote, please, on the amendment.
Council members Jameson?
Yes.
Karski?
Yes.
Kiley?
Yes.
Rolfing?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Erickson?
Yes.
Erpenbach?
Yes.
Councilors, thank you. We now have an amended main motion again. Any further discussion? A roll call vote, please.
Council members Jameson?
Yes.
Karski?
Yes.
Kiley?
Yes.
Rolfing?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Erickson?
Yes.
Erpenbach?
Yes.
Thank you. That is passed 8-0. Item 30.
Second reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, approving the naming of the outdoor amphitheater to be located at Falls Park West to Levitt Shell, Sioux Falls, and authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement between the City of Sioux Falls, Friends of Levitt Shell, Sioux Falls, Incorporated, and Mortimer and Mimi Levitt Foundation regarding the Levitt Shell at Falls Park West.
Don, welcome.
Thank you, Mayor, City Council members. Good evening. This ordinance would approve a 50-year agreement with the Friends of Levitt Shell, Sioux Falls, and the Levitt Foundation to bring 50 free concerts to Sioux Falls in our downtown and Falls Park West. The ordinance also, because it is in a city park, the Parks and Recreation Board did act last month to serve as that naming committee and recommends approval to the City Council of the official name as proposed, Levitt Shell, Sioux Falls, of the venue in Falls Park West as proposed. I would also share with you that they also recommended approval of the agreement as well. Tonight with us, we have Michael Weiland. Michael is representing the local Friends of Levitt Shell, Sioux Falls, and along with our project team are available to answer any questions you might have.
Don, thank you very much. Michael, thanks for being here tonight. Is there anybody in the audience who wants to speak to this item? Welcome.
Tim Stanga. I guess there's been a lot of people that raised a lot of questions with me. I guess on the entertainment part, we got the district, we got the pavilion, we got Badland Pond, we got the Orpheum Theater, we got Huset's, we got the event center, and we got the arena. I guess the thing is one, we give the pavilion, what, $1 million, 1.3 every year. Is that gonna take anything from the pavilion that we're gonna have to subsidize it anymore? 2, the indoor swimming pool, we don't even know what we're gonna be subsidizing the indoor swimming pool. We could be subsidizing that up to $1 million to $1.5 million, from what I understand. Coming up with that money, and people are thinking about how much entertainment can you allow and lose from all the other entities, because it sounds like Badland Ponds, it's gonna be every Thursday night. Plus you got Jazz Fest, that's a weekend. I guess people are trying to figure out if we're gonna end up paying any more for the pavilion, and if they're gonna lose anything. And I guess the thing is our roads are not very good. There's all kinds of potholes. Are we taking money from the roads to be able to pay for the entertainment? I guess that's what people are trying to figure out.
Jim, good job. Thank you. Folks, anybody else want to speak to this item? Thank you, Mr. Stenga. Appreciate it. Council.
I'll move
Councilor Staggers.
Oh, I just had a question, but.
You want to make a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
And it has been seconded. Councilor Rolfing has made a motion to approve this item, seconded by Councilor Erpenbach. Councilor Staggers.
Yes, I'm not sure if I heard this correctly or not. Maybe I didn't. But Don, did you say this is a 50-year agreement?
Correct.
Do we have any other examples of 50-year agreements?
One that comes to mind is our agreement with the outdoor campus. That one was for 50 years at the time.
I see. Okay. I guess that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Staggers. Thank you, Councilor Anderson Jr.
Don, please. In the presentation that we received on this, the phase 1 was going to require the city put in about, what was it, 4.1 million?
That's correct.
Okay. And
well, let me restate that. The total project is 4.1 million. 1.6 of that is coming from the Levitt Foundation and the local Friends of Levitt.
And that'll help build the building that will house the entertainers and a bathroom, correct?
Yes, the overall phase 1 of the improvements, the $4.1 million you referenced, really builds out phase 1 of the entire the area immediately north of our existing parking lot, where we're right on the corner of 6th and Phillips. And so it's not only the Levitt shell itself, but it would also be the event lawn. It would also be an exterior restroom that the general public could use, but it would also have enough event lawn space to meet the minimum requirements of Levitt, which requires enough event lawn to support 5,000 people. And there are various other requirements such as lighting and landscaping, those types of things. And so this first phase really supports the initial concert series that we're bringing to Sioux Falls.
Okay. And are there going to be additional phases? And if there are, what's the cost of those?
There could be additional phases. Currently, they're not in our 5-year capital plan, but there could be additional phases in future years. But at least for the next 5 years, it's not currently programmed. But there certainly could be, and I expect there will be over time.
Thank you.
Councilor, thank you. A roll call vote, please.
Council members Jamison,
Yes.
Karski,
Yes.
Kiley,
Yes.
Rolfing,
Yes.
Staggers,
No.
Anderson,
Yes.
Erickson,
Yes.
Erpenbach.
Yes.
Council, thank you. That is passed 7-1. Item 31.
Second reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, rezoning property north of West 41st Street and west of South Ellis Road from the AG Agriculture and RD1 Twin Home Duplex Residential Suburban Districts to the CN Conservation RS Single Family Residential Suburban and RD1 Twin Home Duplex Residential Suburban Districts, petitions number 2358, 2015, and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls. Planning Commission recommends approval.
Jason?
Jason Bieber, representing Planning and Building Services. This is an application by John Broke. It is located north of West 41st Street and west of South T. Ellis Road, just west of the new T school district or school. It's roughly 82.4 acres, and the purpose of this is to construct roughly 125 single-family, 75 twin homes, and then some area, one large conservation area within the center of this development.
Jason, thank you. Is there anybody in the audience who wanted to speak to this item? Council?
Move to approve, Erickson.
Second, Karski.
Councilor Erickson's made a motion to approve this item, seconded by Councilor Karski. Councilor Karski.
Jason, can you put the pictures up there again of the, there we go. So the land directly to the east of this is the school, is that correct?
The land to the east, if you can just see kind of the green area next to those houses, that's where the T school is. And then you kind of see that little water area, that's the detention pond that's right next to the Family Wellness Center.
I don't know if I'm looking at the same picture you are.
We don't have that anymore.
Yeah, I just don't see the family well. I'm just wondering about that piece that, what is that, 160 acres, or is that 80 acres directly to the east of that? That's
Directly
not
to
annexed into the city yet.
That's not annexed into the city, no. And that's 40 acres, I believe.
40 acres, okay.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Councilor, thank you. Yes, Councilor Anderson Jr.
Jason, how are we along Ellis Road? Are we treating these intersections like 41st, and that as we develop, are we treating them similar to what we're doing in the rest of the city with shaped places?
Yeah, the 41st and Ellis Road intersection, I believe, is in the 2035 comprehensive plan, is identified as a neighborhood employment center. So we would expect to see some commercial on those corners, and then obviously transition out with office, multifamily, and then get into single family as you start going west from that T. Ellis intersection. So it would be
There'll be
treated the
no
same.
surprises for the people who are going to be buying homes out there and everything, that these intersections could be commercial.
Yes, they should expect them to be commercial. I believe the northeast corner of this already has commercial on it.
Okay, thank you.
Councilor, thank you. There has been a motion, hasn't there? Yes, thank you. Thanks, Councilor Vice Chair. There's been a motion to approve this item. Has been seconded. Good discussion. A roll call vote, please.
Council members Jameson?
Yes.
Karski?
Yes.
Kylie?
Yes.
Rolfing?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Erfenbach?
Yes.
Erickson?
Yes.
That is passed 8-0. Thank you. Item 32.
Second reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, rezoning property at the northeast corner of South Hosta Avenue and East 57th Street from the LW Live Work District to the O Office District, petition number 3867, 2015, and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls. Planning Commission recommends approval.
The applicant here is Clint Ackerman, and this is located just east of 57th Street and Sycamore Avenue. The size is roughly 4.3 acres, and the purpose of this rezoning is to construct roughly a 7,000 square foot office on the west portion of the property, and then they will reserve the right or the east portion for a future office building of similar size.
Jason, thank you. Did anybody want to speak to this item? Council?
Move for approval, Anderson.
Second, Rolfing.
Councilor Anderson Jr. has made a motion to approve this item, seconded by Councilor Rolfing. A roll call vote, please.
Council members Jameson?
Yes.
Karski?
Yes.
Kylie?
Yes.
Rolfing?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Erickson?
Yes.
Erfenbach?
Yes.
Council, thank you. That is passed 8-0. Item 33.
Second reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, rezoning property located west of North Marion Road, east of West Yukon Trail, and north of West Benson Road from the POPUD Pedestrian-Oriented Plan Unit Development District to the RD1 Twin Home Duplex Residential Suburban District, petition number 3898, 2015, and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls. Planning Commission recommends approval.
The applicant here is Steve Van Buskirk. It is located west of North Marion Road and north of West Benson Road. The size is roughly 3.12 acres. And the purpose of this specific application is to construct 10 twin homes on these 10 lots. There are currently 2 twin homes existing. There is one that's under construction, and then they plan on constructing 7 more along Yukon Trail there.
Thank you, Jason. Anybody want to speak to this item? Councilors?
Move to approve, Karski.
Second, Anderson.
Councilor Karski's made a motion to approve this item, seconded by Councilor Anderson Jr. Councilor Karski.
Jason, is the plan to take Yukon Trail and extend that all the way down there, or is that going to be private roads for that area?
I would believe that would be extend all the way down to Benson. Maybe Mark Cotter can answer that a little bit better. I'm not positive, I guess, if that's going to be the next intersection onto Benson Road.
Okay. Just curious because, well, I didn't know if we didn't want to tie up a bunch of land and it looked like we're going to have apartments behind there. Is that the intent, or those duplexes across the street from that? How's that?
Yep, to the northwest there is already twin homes, and then as you go north there, that's the yellow, that would be single family. That's
all be single family.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Councilor Erickson.
Just another question, since we've all lived and breathed through Canterbury Heights, the magic number until you need a secondary access road is what, 30?
I think it's 30, yes, correct.
So how many are we at right there then? Because we're getting close on that before we need another way to get out, and that's a long ways to go for that road to go all the way through Yukon. If that goes to Benson, I mean, that's a... Benson's not even finished. I mean, that looks like gravel there.
I'm not sure how many were out there, but they would, our fire would be looking at this when they come in and platting lots and pulling permits. They would be keeping track if they're 30. I don't think we're 30, and there may be another way out to the northwest. I'm not exactly sure.
Is the petitioner here?
Yes, I believe the petitioner is here.
Can he or she speak?
Sure.
Jason, who is it, please?
It's Steve Van Buskirk.
Stephen? Anybody with the Van Buskirk companies here? Welcome, sir. You're thrown in the mix. Get up here, buddy.
Welcome.
Welcome. You'll do fine. You'll do fine.
I'm not with Jared Smart with Universal Properties. I'm not with the Van Buskirk companies, but we're with the development directly to the north, and Steve and I have been working on a second access at 54th Street. So.
Perfect. Jared, we appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. A roll call vote, please.
Council members Jamison?
Yes.
Karski?
Yes.
Kylie?
Yes.
Rolfing?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Erickson?
Yes.
Erpenbach?
Yes.
That is passed 8-0. Thank you, council. Item 34.
Second reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, rezoning property located west of South Sycamore Avenue and between East 61st Street and East 65th Street from the RS Single Family Residential Suburban and RD1 Twin Home Duplex Residential Suburban Districts to the RD2 Townhome Residential Suburban, LW Live Work, and CN Conservation Districts, petition number 3938, 2015, and amending the official zoning map of the City of Sioux Falls. Planning Commission recommends approval.
The applicant here is Mike Barber. It is located west of South Sycamore Avenue between East 61st and East 65th Streets. It's roughly 36.5 acres in size. The purpose of this is to develop a townhome development in the center portion, our west center portion of the lot, then a significant conservation area in the middle, and then develop some live-work type concept as you get adjacent to South Sycamore Avenue.
Jason, thank you. Is there anybody who wanted to speak to this item? Council?
Move for approval, Anderson.
Second, Kylie.
Councilor Anderson Jr. has made a motion to approve this item, seconded by Councilor Kylie. A roll call vote, please.
Council members Jamison?
Yes.
Karski?
Yes.
Kylie?
Yes.
Rolfing?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Erickson?
Yes.
Erpenbach?
Yes.
That is passed 8-0. Thank you. Item 35.
Second reading, an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, establishing the car rental customer use charge and authorizing the use of the proceeds thereof for economic development projects.
Councilor Rolfing?
Yes, I would like to move that we withdraw this item.
Second.
It's been a motion to withdraw this item by Councilor Rolfing, seconded by Councilor Anderson Jr. A roll call vote, please.
Council members Jamison?
Yes.
Karski?
Yes.
Kylie?
Yes.
Rolfing?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Erickson?
Yes.
Erpenbach?
Yes.
That has passed 8-0. Item 36.
Deferred from the City Council meeting of Tuesday, January 19, 2016. First reading an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, amending the 2013 Shaped Places zoning ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls. Planning Commission recommends approval.
Jason?
This is an application by the Planning Office to amend the Shaped Places zoning ordinance. Since we had brought this forward, we have made a couple of minor edits, and we are going to be making one addition to this ordinance. So we are requesting that you guys remand this application back to the Planning Commission, and then that will go in March, and then we will bring it back forward to you in April.
Thank you, Jason.
Mayor.
Councilor Anderson Jr.
Motion to remand back to Planning Commission.
And second.
Thank you. Councilor Anderson Jr. has made a motion to remand this back to the Planning Commission. That has been seconded by Councilor Rolfing. A roll call vote, please.
Council members Jameson?
Yes.
Karski?
Yes.
Kylie?
Yes.
Rolfing?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Erickson?
Yes.
Erpenbach?
Yes.
That has passed 8-0. Thank you, Council. Item 37.
A resolution of the City of Sioux Falls approving the preliminary plan of Westwood Valley 2 addition. Planning Commission recommends approval.
This is the preliminary subdivision plan that goes with item number 31, the rezoning there for Westwood Valley 2nd Edition. The applicant here is also John Broke, and it's located north of West 41st and west of South T. Ellis Road. The purpose of this is to construct a single-family twin home and then one large conservation lot development.
Jason, thank you. Is there anybody in the audience who wanted to speak to this item? Councilors?
Good question.
Yes, I'm sorry, Councilor Karski.
I'll move to approve first.
Councilor
Rolfing.
Councilor Karski has made a motion to approve this item, seconded by Councilor Rolfing. Councilor Karski?
You're going to have single-family residential backing up to 41st Street?
Their plan is the lots adjacent to 41st, they're proposing to zone that to the RD1, so they're looking at constructing some twin homes along there. If we go back to the,
Please.
The zoning here.
That one. Move one more. The other way.
Yeah, Back to the Future.
The orange there on the south portion on the right-hand side, that's where they're proposing to do some twin homes along 41st Street.
So you would have twin homes, single-family attached, basically up to 41st Street.
They have the option to do that or single family. It's kind of up to them, but they're proposing to do twin homes, so.
Okay.
Good catch, Counselor.
Good job. Councilor Anderson Jr.?
We've sort of been against a lot of access to our major roads. Now, are all these twin homes going to be accessible right on off 41st Street?
Right.
Or is there going to be like a side road or a different access point for them?
They will not have access to 41st Street. There will be, you can see the two major collectors that'll have access to 41st Street. So they'll back up, but they won't have direct access. That 41st will actually be their rear yard.
Thank you.
Good questions, and Jason, very good job, man. Appreciate that. A roll call vote, please, on this resolution.
Council members Jameson?
Yes.
Karski?
Yes.
Kylie?
Yes.
Rolfing?
Yes.
Staggers?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Erickson?
Yes.
Erpenbach?
Yes.
That has passed 8-0. Thank you, Council. Item 38.
A resolution including certain contiguous territory within the corporate limits of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, pursuant to an annexation agreement.
Jason?
The applicant here is Slater Barr with the Sioux Falls Development Foundation. This annexation is what has been called Foundation Park. It is located east of North Marion Road, and the majority of it is north of I-90 with one lot south, west and west of I-29. The area in green is actually what will be encompass Foundation Park, and then the area in yellow is other properties, most of them owned by McCrossen's Boys Ranch, and those have agreed to come in to make this contiguous to the City of Sioux Falls. The size is roughly 879.5 acres in size. This is an overall concept plan of what they think the development could look like. And this purpose of this is obviously to construct a major industrial development up here. And then just some kind of utility extensions. North Marion Road will be graded in 2016 and is proposed to be asphalted by August 1st of 2017. 16-inch water main will be installed in 2016 as part of that North Marion Road grading. And then phase 1 of the sewer, stage 1 will be the construction of a pump station in the southeast corner of this park and the gravity sewer for Basin 13. And the plan for that is to design, plan, and construct in 2016 and hopefully operational by June of 2017. And then stage 2 would actually be extending the force mains to the water reclamation plant. And this time frame is really dependent on the development of the park and also the overall sewer usage of the users out there. With the earliest construction wouldn't be before 2021. We do have several people here from the team that kind of looked through this annexation. We have Michael Gray from Economic Development, who was kind of the lead on this specific annexation. We have Mark Cotter from Public Works, who can definitely answer in more detail any of your utility extension questions or any utility questions. And I believe Slater Barr here is here from the Development Foundation to answer any questions you have maybe with the overall direction of the development.
Jason, thank you. Mike, Mark, Slater, thanks for being here as well. Appreciate that. Folks, before I go to the council, did anybody want to speak to this item? Frank, welcome.
I simply have a question. I don't know what the procedure has been in the past and so on, but you had mentioned that McCrossing Boys Ranch is a major owner of the land. So my question is who pays for the extension of the services, the sewer and the roads and so on? Who absorbs that since they're a nonprofit and they don't have property tax issues? So who pays for that?
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Altoff. We appreciate that. Jason, did you want to try to do that, or did you want Mr. Cotter to do that? Mark, thank you. And Mark, too, maybe explain what's going to happen with a McCrossing Boys Ranch, or what has already happened with McCrossing Boys Ranch. Thank you, Mark.
Certainly. Mark Cotter with the Office of Public Works. The Marion Road extension is an extension on an arterial street, and so the community advances those costs. We get about 30% of the costs back as we plat land. McCrossings essentially owns the majority of that yellow shaded area, and so they are a property owner in this annexation. And as they choose to plat that land, there is platting fees that they pay the city, and that reimburses part of our cost for the road, the water main, and then the pump station that Jason spoke to. That's really to open the area up for wastewater. So we have to collect the wastewater and then ultimately pump it to a close spot. All that cost for the sewer will be recapped, be recaptured as land is platted out there as well. So there's a series of platting fees that are throughout the city as land develops to share those costs with developers, and in some cases collect 100% of them, and always more than happy to sit down and go through those.
And then, Mark, people pay fees, of course, to get rid of the water, the wastewater, or to use water as well.
That's exactly right. So this is just to have service, and then every month, once we get customers connected, just like you do here, you pay your operational costs.
Thank you very much. Good question, Mr. Altoff. Appreciate that. And Mark, thank you. Anybody else want to speak to this item? Council?
Move to approve. And second.
Thank you, Councilor Jameson. Thank you, Councilor Rolfing. Councilor Anderson, Jr.
Mark, could I have you again, please? Could you speak about the water or the wastewater main that's going to have to be constructed at some point in time from Foundation Park to our reclamation facility?
Sure. So, Councilor, there's a two-staged approach. Could you use your mouse to kind of, go back to the map? Point to about where the pump station is going to go. We'll kind of direct you to this. So that's about where the pump station will be, because just the lay of the land, that's the lowest point. So all the wastewater will flow to that point. There'll be what we call a pump station. and then that will force it over toward, we'll have 3 pipes go under the interstate. 1 is for high strength, and 2 will be for domestic strength, meaning the normal wastewater that comes out of people's houses and commercial buildings. We'll initially get 3 pipes underneath the interstate, and we'll extend them over to Kiwanis Avenue. We'll cap 2 of them, and then we'll take 1 of them down just to open up the park because we have capacity in a sewer that's just south of this area. So to reduce our upfront costs and get this park opened and have it start to mature over the next, anywhere 3 to 6 years, we'll take that force main all the way down to 60th Street, and then just over a little bit to the east, we have a sewer main there. So that's essentially stage 1. That's what we hope to bid this June, as Jason said, and have operational by July of 2017. Once sewer's there, by far, we'll already have Marion Road there. That's when development can truly happen. Stage 2 will be as this starts to mature, and as this basin down by the Sanford Sports Complex continues to mature, at some point in time, we've got to extend that force main, those pipes all the way to the plant. And that'll all be really driven by the types of users that they attract and the amount of water and wastewater that they have. Is it possible? I mean, what we've heard, the Development Foundation's been very successful in garnering potential businesses. What we've seen so far is they're very low water users and they're very clean wastewater. So if that continues, and as this area down by the Sanford Sports Complex has also some low water usage, there's a chance that we won't have to go to the plant for some time. So every time they bring a potential candidate in, we look at first what's their water needs, what's their wastewater characteristics, and then we'll continue to do an evaluation. But we'll try to stretch that out as long as possible just to get the most ROI on the infrastructure.
I may.
Yeah, you bet. Councilor. Nice job.
With the installations of these mains, how will that impact the northern end of Sioux Falls? How will that encourage development?
Well, I would think that it will just, in many cases, I wish I had a little bit more expanded view for you. The Sanford Sports Complex, as you drive westward out there, it's largely undeveloped as you go past UPS. So that's got some time to mature. We're seeing some building happening out there, but that's going to take some time. And the area that's essentially generally west of Marion Road, the area that's generally west of Marion Road already has sewer. So you're starting to see with Walmart and all that, Glanbia, all that activity, now you're starting to see the housing. You've seen one of the, Jared Smart spoke here just a minute ago, Van Buskert's. You're starting to see that northwest area start to mature. And so a lot of activity happening. So I would just say this will obviously, with the initial estimates of being 8,000 new jobs for the city, that also has to have a lot of support services and it's got to have a lot of housing. So I think it's going to be fantastic for Northwest Sioux Falls.
And that's what I was leading to.
Good job, Councilor. I appreciate it. Mike, any comments? You've been kind of the liaison with Sioux Falls Development as well as the council. Any comments? Councilor Anderson Jr. just wanted to know about potential development and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Potential development in the Northwest area, I think, is really what we're going to see in the coming years here, not only with the introduction of Foundation Park and the development of that, but also around the Sanford Pentagon and down to the Premier Center. The Foundation Park is really just north of what we've identified as the sports and entertainment district for the city of Sioux Falls. That area we see in the future becoming filled in with different retail and restaurants of all different natures. And then further west of there, once you get west of 29, we anticipate seeing more residential and more services in there as well. But yeah, a couple of things in the work right now as far as the sports and entertainment district goes, and excited to see what comes of that in the coming months.
Michael, thank you. Councilor Anderson Jr., good job. Appreciate that. Councilor Staggers.
Yes. Mark Cotter. You said the sewer's going under I-29. Is that right?
Yes.
Do we anticipate any problem with the feds over that?
No, we bore under the interstate and railroads all the time, so it's a very standard permitting process.
Okay, thank you.
Councilor Staggers, thank you. Councilor Karski.
Thank you. That picture that we have up there, leave it there. That yellow land, it says future property to be annexed. How soon? What's the timeline on that?
Were you talking about this one, Councilmember Karski, or which picture were you talking about?
That yellow, you got the green patch that we're annexing.
Yep, that yellow is annexing too. That's a portion that's going to be part of the annexation. It's just not part of Foundation Park.
Ah, okay, so we're
that's
annexing
what's
everything
getting us
together.
contiguous.
It's not a separate
Yes,
annexation.
correct, yes.
Thank you.
Yep.
Second question, which school district is going to be the benefactor of all this? Do we know?
I'm going to guess West
Mike,
or Tri-Valley.
or Slater? Thank you, Slater.
Tri-Valley.
Tri-Valley.
And the only reason I want to point that out, my friend Commissioner Jim Schmidt always talks about development and how rooftops residential doesn't support schools, but when we start putting in buildings and development parks and big industrial areas like this, that's what supports school districts. And I really hope that West Central? Tri-Valley. I hope Tri-Valley School District's paying attention because we need them to start building closer to Sioux Falls, and I hope this gives them a little bit of reason to start that. Thank you.
Kello Argus, there's a story for you. He's already tweeted it out. Very good. Council, I'm not blowing steam up your tail, but those are good questions. Good job. And Jason, Mike, and Mark, and Slater B., thank you for knowing. Yes, Councilor, yes, sir? Any questions, sir?
Not a question, but a comment. I know there's already been motion and seconded, but it just is, you can't help but say the word, I'll take it from the mayor, boom, when you see this. I mean, holy smokes, just about got caught. Holy smokes, this is a great thing for Sioux Falls, and it's an extended leap for the Development Foundation, but even for Sioux Falls, all of the entities coming together to make this happen. It's, I don't know another word but to say boom. So.
Thank you. Thank you. For Tri-Valley, too. A roll call vote, please.
Council members Jameson,
Yes.
Karski,
Yes.
Kiley,
Yes.
Rolfing,
Yes.
Staggers,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Erickson,
Yes.
Erpenbach.
Yes.
Thank you, Council. That is passed 8-0. Item 39.
A resolution of the City of Sioux Falls approving diagonal parking on North Graduate Avenue.
Well, Heath Hofteaser, Principal Traffic Engineer for the City of Sioux Falls. Keeping on the trend of development in the Northwest and successful ones at that, we're here to talk for a resolution for diagonal parking on North Graduate Avenue. The location that we're looking at is for University Hills Edition, and it's south of 60th Street North and west of Marion Road. They already have one apartment complex in this location where they have diagonal parking along Graduate Avenue, and they have filled up that building, and they're going to their second phase, and they'd like to extend the diagonal parking on Graduate Avenue, keeping with the plan that they have for their development. We got some renderings of the site. Here's a picture of the University Hills Village, all kind of with all the buildings showing for their future plan. Let's see here. Here's the first building was built right here along Graduate Avenue, and the diagonal parking that we're coming for tonight is right along this area of Graduate Avenue for the second apartment building that they're looking to build. And here's just some renderings of what the diagonal parking looks like in front of the building. And Jared Smart, the developer, is here to talk to you if you have questions for him.
Heath, thank you very much. Jared, thanks for being here as well tonight. Is there anybody in the audience who wanted to speak to this resolution? Council?
Move for approval, Anderson.
Mr. Altoff, get up there, sir.
Just a concern as far as the main thoroughfare going in there. I don't know if it's diagonal parking now or not, but I would think that a main thoroughfare should not be diagonal parking. But the off-streets certainly can be considered.
Heath, you want to speak to that, please? Thank you, Mr. Altoff. Appreciate it.
Certainly can. So the major roads, the collectors that are leading into this development are not diagonal parking. 54th Street North is one of them that we were talking about earlier today for the other development. They were not going to be proposing diagonal parking on those. This is basically just pull the map back up. This is just the north-south road running in front of the apartment buildings and not the major collector. The major collector is the big road that's looping around the whole development, and that will not have any diagonal parking on it.
Thank you, Mr. Altoff. Thank you, Heath. Council.
You've already had.
We need a second, please.
We don't have a second. Councilor Kiley, yes, sir. If there's no further discussion, he's drinking, a roll call vote, please.
Council members Jameson,
Yes.
Karski,
Yes.
Kiley,
Yes.
Rolfing,
Yes.
Staggers,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Erickson,
Yes.
Erpenbach.
Yes.
Thank you. That is passed 8-0. Item 40.
Charter Revision Commission Summary Report.
Item 41. Oh, wait, I'm so sorry. Councilor David, you're not a councilor yet.
SELOR.
Yes, you are. David.
Thank you, Mayor. This is the summary report and the proposed ballot that are placed on the SIRE system for the public to see. I'd also encourage the public to look on the agenda and meetings portion of the city website where they can watch the 5 different public meetings that the Charter Revision Commission held. Those members are Bob Timian, Sue Aguilar, Pauline Politis, Jill Entenman, and Justin Smith. I'd like to publicly thank them for their service. 2 of the related proposals deal with term limits for elected officials. They would allow someone who has served for 50% or less of a term to go for 2 full terms. Currently, it's full or partial terms regardless of length. A third proposal would eliminate some obsolete language regarding the mayor's participation in a city pension program that's now obsolete. The fourth proposal is a housekeeping item regarding updating of the code every 20 years, and that would just eliminate the date specifically in there. A fifth proposal would require the advice and consent of the city council for the mayoral appointments of all 12 city department heads. Currently, it exempts those that are 5% or less. I know some reports out there said that I was not subject to the advice and consent. I have always been subject pursuant to a separate charter section, my office, excuse me. And then a sixth proposal would add sexual orientation to the list of prohibited classes. So that will be up for the voters in April 12th. Thank you.
David, thank you as well. Council, any questions of David? Item 41.
Report of the January 28, 2016 Notice of Transfer of Appropriations within Major Organizational Units.
Thank you, Council. Any other questions, comments?
Move to adjourn.
Second, Erpenbach.
Councilor Anderson Jr. has made a motion to approve this meeting. Thank you. And it has been seconded by Councilor Erpenbach. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? This meeting is adjourned. Sioux Falls. Make it a great, great night.